Yeah. The thing that I noticed, we used to do this. We used to do a thing in here years ago, and I stopped doing it just because it became so obvious. When you, what I would have you do is, prior to our discussion on time management, I'd have you keep a time log similar to a food log. You know, have you ever done one of those food diaries where you just, everything that goes in your mouth, you write it down, and then after you're done, you analyze it for carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins, minerals, water, RDAs, kind of stuff. Does everyone know what I'm talking about? And so we did the same thing with time. Every minute of the day, accounting for what you did during that minute for like 3 days. And besides the fact that that was a really onerous assignment, and just like, okay, now what am I doing? Oh, I got to write it down. I got to keep track. What do you think people noticed in general? And this is every time this was an obvious thing that you guys would recognize as you did this for 3 days. What do you think became really obvious?
People probably waste more time than we think.
Way more time. Now, I shouldn't say waste more time, but what people realized is, because I don't want to put a judgment on, maybe talking on the phone is hugely valuable for Jen because she's communicating with her best friends and she's keeping that relationship strong. So I don't want to take that, I don't want to take anything away. But what we did realize is people always say, man, I don't have enough time to do stuff. And what they realized is I had way more time than I thought to do the things that I needed to do. And after we get through with today, we'll kind of get an idea of how to tweak that so that, because really the answer, every time management program out there, every single one, and I've seen dozens and dozens of them, they have one single, if you could summarize it in one sentence, it is this: function moment to moment around your highest priorities. That's the essence of all of the time management programs out there. Function around your highest priorities. Do the things that are the most important to you first. There was a book written, I think it was by Stephen Covey and somebody Merrill, called First Things First. That was the name of the book. And the whole idea was you should do the things that are the most important first and leave the least important and the least valuable to last. The reason why people struggle with time and time management, I think, as I've watched this over the many, many years that I've been playing with this, is people do the easy, unimportant things first and leave the important things for last. And then instead of doing them under control, they're putting out fires. Oh, I'm going to procrastinate preparing for this test. Oh, I've got a test tomorrow. Oh my gosh, right? Instead of each day going, okay, if I study a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, no big deal when test time comes around. But I don't know if it's a natural or a learned tendency to just put the hard stuff off. I think it's that same principle that we did when we talked about fear, that people tend to gravitate toward their comfort zones, and studying for a test is not comfortable. And so until it becomes an urgency, and then when it's urgent, stress turns on. Now, the question is, or the challenge, or what I'm going to invite you to do through the homework I'm going to give you, is try to make it so that all the things that you do aren't also stressful. And there's a way that we do that. Now, I want to give you some really important definitions. The first one